second chance in the game.
All right, guys, my name is Terrance Banks. Welcome to my presentation on Inside Zone with Tags. Inside Zone with Tags, the inside zone play makes up approximately 25% of our offense, at least, running inside zone with tags. It's the number one thing we do. We're very multiple. We run it with different variations. So I want to speak to you today about our inside zone with tags. My contact information is as follow. Again, my name is Terrance Banks. I'm the head football coach now at Tri-Cities High School, which is in East Point, Georgia. Previous to that, I was the head coach at Newton High School for 6 years, and I'm going to talk briefly about that. My cell phone number is 404-606-5481. If you have any questions, want to talk ball, you can call me. Texting, I respond to texts a lot faster than phone calls because, like you, teaching all day and all those extra duties. You can always email me. That allows us to share diagram and information. My email is tdotbanks@gmail.com, t.banks@gmail.com. Probably the fastest, best, most convenient way to get a hold of me is on Twitter. My Twitter link is tbanks1906, tbanks1906 is my contact information on that. So my background, Newton High School as the head football coach for the past 6 years. We competed in 7A, which is the highest classification in Georgia. 3,800 to 2,100 is the range for that classification. Here at Newton High School, we had 2,500 kids. We went 38-27 and won the past 6 years. Most wins in school history over a 6-year period. We made 6 consecutive playoff appearances, made the playoffs every year, and had 3 playoff victories. 2014 is the school's first playoff victory, where we advanced to the quarterfinals. And in 2015, we won the first region title here since 1987, which had been a while. Why inside zone and tags? So it allows us to marry the inside zone with screen passes and RPOs, a la the triple option. So before I kind of finish the rest of it, a couple of things that I believed in. So as a coach, I played in as a player, I played in a offense in high school that was, of course, I formation, but some speed options, such as I was a slot guy. In college, I had the opportunity to spend a year in a open spread, supposed to be air raid type offense. When you get to my belief in how I started off in coaching was in the wing T system. And then my next job as a coordinator was a flex bone. I wanted to pass the ball more, which is how I ended up in the spread, but the flex bone triples, principles of the triple option, we then took to the spread, giving the quarterback a pitch option, a read option, and a keep option is big for us. Inside zone and tags, we're able to get the ball in our best players' hands through a variety of formations, motions, and packages. We run the same play through multiple looks to prevent the defense from keying the play. And it keeps it simple up front for the lineman while we add window dressing for the skill. We're gonna run inside zone a lot. We only have 4 run schemes. This is number 1. Our linemen get really, 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 really good at inside zone. We're gonna run that play more than anything else. I'm a big multiple formation, motion type guy. Why? I believe in essentialism, which means I'm not gonna do a lot of stuff, but I'm gonna do things that are simple and do it as much as I can. So I believe in using all those variations. And once you find something that works, you stay with it and you have a way to progress off of it. So that's how we got into our inside zone with tags. We want to keep it simple for our 5 linemen. We want our linemen to be able to think and play, think and play, think and play. Not have to sit there and say, they can think and play because they know inside zone, they can do it fast. Our skill guys, we work a lot on teaching them motions and throwing the bubble and running it, and that's been the best benefit to us, and that's the number one thing in our offense. So as I move towards the spread, I want to keep those triple option concepts I learned in the flex bone. I want to be able to throw it more. But what I found out was we don't really throw the ball like an air raid team. We're somewhere in the middle. But this has allowed us to keep those triple option principles. If I could say any team or any coordinator you would see us look like, if you're a big Noel Mazzoni guy, that's who we try to look like a lot and what we do with our inside zone and tags. So some of our run game stats, we're a spread offense, but in 2015, 2016, 2018, we had 1,000-yard plus rushers. So we were able to run the ball for one guy over 1,000 yards. Year one, when I got to Newton, we averaged 4.58 yards per carry, and we had 8 rushing touchdowns. At our peak, which was 3 years later after my first year, my 4th year, we averaged 6.8 yards per carry and had 32 touchdowns. It's how I believe in our screen game. I tell our quarterbacks on the screen, if you got to throw the screen, we got to get 5 yards. So what we tell our receivers is that we really hone in on that. We work on blocking for our receivers a lot. Anytime we throw the screen, we want to get 5 yards. If we can establish 5 yards, we can do so much off of that. And so I'm going to go through and show you a lot of our inside zone plays with tags. I'm then going to come back and show you how we progress to that in the game, okay? And so that was big for us. Our quarterback can throw the screen pre-snap based on alignment or post-snap based on availability. And that's the one thing I think is the added bonus over what we're doing. It allows us to be able to do that. While our quarterback, if he comes out and we got numbers, he can take it and throw the bubble or throw the pre-snap screen. If we don't have those numbers, then he can come back and run it. And if he looks up and if he keeps it and it's still out there, we can get it out. So I think that's also been hugely beneficial to us in our offense. Our inside zone rules. We want as many double teams as possible. So I look at inside zone, as I told you, I was a flex bone guy. And so obviously the number one play in the flex bone is inside veer, right? So I think inside veer and inside zone go hand in hand. That is my belief. I want as many double teams as possible. That's what I preach to my kids. We work very hard on double teaming, and we try to work very hard on not coming off that double teaming to late in the process. What I want my offensive linemen to understand is this: we don't need a kill shot on linebacker. If we can get that double team push and come off late, all we need is a small little crease for our running back to shoot through. And so we want to stay on the double team and get as many double teams as possible. So our inside zone rules might be a little different. Inside gap, always, always, always protect inside gap. So if we're running inside zone to our left, right? So if we're running inside zone to our left, and I'm our left guard, and I have a one technique, somebody inside my inside gap, he is the guy that I have to block first. So I won't get too much into the specifics of O-line play, but we're going to make sure now we get a double team. That's my guy. He's in that inside gap. I got to be ready to take him, okay? We talk about head up. That's from shoulder to shoulder. Remember, we want as many double teams as possible. So shoulder to shoulder. If I don't have a one technique, all right, but there's a one technique on that side. It's a 3 technique. Obviously, he's my guy. We're going shoulder to shoulder. So anything that touches my shoulder, I got to block. Why? Because we want as many double teams as possible. Then, if there was nobody here, if for some reason there was an alignment, you had a 0 on the 3 backside, then we are going to go ahead and climb the linebacker. And if we can't get a double, we want to get a double as much as possible. And we want to stay as double teams as much as possible. So those are our inside zone rules. What do we tell our running back? That's always a question. People do different things. For us, what we tell our running back is we tell our running back to chase the center's crack as much as possible. In our alignment, not talking a lot about alignment, but I will give you that tidbit because it wasn't in this slide. Our alignment for our running back is about at 6 yards. His first step is a slide step. Basically, we teach it from day one. You're going to pick up the foot and put it down. You're going to pick up the foot and put it down. We want him to attack square. We do not want him turning that foot on the zone because it forces you to go. We want him to be able to chase that center's crack with the availability to cut it back. So when he gets it, he stays square, and then he's going to come down here chasing the center's crack. If he gets to cut back, then he'll cut it back. If not, then he can fit in any hole. So for us, our inside zone play really is more of a front side A all the way to backside C. And that's not even running the slice inside zone, which a lot of teams are doing now with the H-back. I'm doing it as well. I think having the H-back or a tight end really makes our offense go in the spread. Funny, huh? About 6-7 years ago, I probably wouldn't have said that. It's all about being in 10 personnel. Now 11 personnel is the vogue again, and 12, and I do think it enhances the spread offense. So we talk about blocking that versus four-man fronts here. As you can see here, the first one, we got that 4-1 box, which is what we all prefer, right? 4-1 box. You get both the Will and Mike out. You got a 2-2s. And we're running to the left, obviously head up. We're gonna kick out. We're not gonna block the backside in. So we've got our tackle's gonna double team the 2 and press up to the mic. Our center's gonna do the same thing. He doesn't really, our center, for example, with 2-2s, has nobody head up him. Nobody inside, nobody head up. So his first step is going to be ready to step to help out just in case that 2 technique tries to spike into the 1, and then he'll also be going to the mic as well. In our second diagram, we've got that 1 technique and then the 3 backside, so we're gonna get a push on the 3 and the 5. Our center has somebody in the inside gap. They're gonna take over in that 1 technique, looking to push back up to that Will linebacker, looking to come off late. And for our tackle, who has that mic that's sitting up in that 30, he's gonna go get him. I'm a big fan. Not a natural O-line coach, but I'm a big fan of the gallop technique. Whatever you teach your guys is fine. Big fan on teaching him that gallop technique so he can stay square and also be ready to help if for some reason that 1 technique was to try to spike all the way across on some type of stunt. Here's how we block it again. If we get a 3 technique to the call, we're gonna get a 3 technique on the side of running back. We're gonna double team the 3 technique with a tackle on the guard. We're gonna double team the 1 technique because we want as many double teams as possible. And then we're gonna push to those backers. So if we get a 30, we get a 3 technique on the same side as our running back. We get a 1 technique. We're gonna make sure that we get as many double teams as possible as we're pushing. And as you see that diagram, our B back for us, our running back, he's gonna press that center's butt. 3-man front, so for us, 3-14. If we got a 3-14 that is playing that jack backer, that weak side outside linebacker in space, and we treat it like a 4-2. And we also it's like a fan call. So we're gonna push that way. So our tackle, if that guy's head up, we should be getting double teamed with his eyes on that guy because we're making a push call, which means that our center and backside guard have to double team on that nose, but our center is being also conscious on his first step for that Will linebacker, who he's gonna wanna come off on late, and then that tackle will go get that mic and we'll read the end. What we do to a stack is a little different. I like to tell my tackle if he can't beat that guy inside, and we watch film and grade that end heavily. If we can beat that guy inside, then you're gonna go ahead and make sure you sift off of him and get up to that next level, and then we'll read what that stack does. If that end can give us problems, he's a war daddy, he's a dude, we'll block that end, take him whichever way he wants to go, and we'll read that jack backer. We had a lot of success doing that. So we will, on the backside of inside zone, with a stacked team, do a lot of blocking that end. I think you need to really be self-conscious of how good that end is. If he's average or above, I would block him and read that backer. If he's not, then it's easy to let them play that stunt. Especially, a lot of teams are gonna do that blood stunt where they send one in and send one out. That's totally up to you, but in my experience, what worked for us was blocking that end. Here's some examples we're gonna go over when you watch film. I love having 2 backs and sending that 1 running back across for the bubble and then running inside zone. Why? Because you should see linebackers bump. If you get a team that's playing man coverage, how do those linebackers communicate? I got him. What happens when he goes in motion? So you're really getting 3 by 1. That's probably my most favorite way to line up here because I'm a big motion guy. So I love that. If you give us 1 high, I love sending somebody back in motion and then running that bubble, especially to the boundary. sending that guy in motion and then throwing that little screen out there to try to outnumber in the boundary. Teams don't like bumping to the boundary, so we love doing that. We will do something out of 3x1 to the field. Here's how we advance. Teams were able to hurt us a lot as defenses evolved, okay, especially those 4-2-5 teams with how they play that trips coverage. And so I know you guys are all studying. If you guys are a 4-2-5 team, you guys are evolving, doing a lot of that stubble coverage where you go ahead and cover up 3 for 3. And so we had to evolve into that. So I'm showing you the evolution on this example. On this example, what we'll do is we'll put that trips to the field, but we'll also put a smoke route onto that single receiver, because what are a lot of teams doing to 3x1? They're going to cover up. Those quarter teams are going to cover up, and they're going to move that safety on top of number 3. And then they're going to take that backside safety and shift him to the middle of the field, especially if you run a lot of vertical. Well, to do that, a lot of times they won't go press, or they may go press, but they won't go press. Depending on it, you don't really care. If they don't go press, it's even better. You're going to have that little smoke screen onto it. If they go press, then that guy ends up taking himself out to play. So we'll run the bubble to trips, but then we'll have a smoke screen backside. And now we'll give our quarterback now 4 options. It's really more of a quad option. How he'll read that is this. He'll read that bubble pre-snap. That bubble there pre-snap, running back is on the opposite side. He catches. It's easy to flip it out there. If they cover it up, then he's going to look at that single receiver, and then he's going to read it, and he's going to run the zone. If that corner comes, he can flip it out. A lot of times that corner will just run upfield, giving him a nice little alley. So that's our evolution of how we like to run it for trips. We love stacking receivers as well. I like the boundary. I could talk all day about the advantages to me to the boundary, because defenses don't like overreacting to the boundary. You can stack them if that helps you. And then one example is long slice or RPO, which is where the evolution of the zone game is going. If you got 6-on-6, so here's an example on that. The 2 slant side is our give side. Okay, so our quarterback's gonna look, if we got 6 in the box, we already know we're running it. If we feel some type of field pressure, he can always come back and throw double slants, especially if they're in the 2 high coverage. Okay, some type of quarters coverage, or even if that guy's tucked with that backside safety is on the hash. If that nickel is inside of that first slant and you got all that green grass, he can always run double slants, because you got a gift, one-on-one backside, take it, okay? If that's covered, that's dead. They're covering that up. They're not blitzing. You got 6-on-6, but you got this strong safety in cover 4, who is that D alley player. We're going to go ahead and read it, block the end. If that guy steps up, then we run that backside post. So we're going to make him wrong. If he stays his behind back, then cool. It's 6-on-6, hand the ball off. And so that's the evolution to where the game has gone in the spread offense. And so we're going to run zone slice, but now we pretty much RPO that whole thing anytime we get into that zone slice. But the inside zone with the tags is what we do. And we start off in 10 personnel, and even with 11 personnel if you don't have it. But we love running that inside zone with the triple option principle or throwing that bubble. But we have evolved with the tags. But inside zone is probably at least 25% of our offense. When you play my team, you're going to get a lot of inside zone. That's the number 1 play we're going to install, and we spend a lot of time on it. So, hey, let's get to the clips. All right, and I got a ton of clips I want to show you guys here on how we run our inside zone. All right, so I told you guys I was big on sending that motion out. So that motion allows you to run it several different ways, and this is what I'm talking about. Our offensive line is going to hear zone, and that's all they care about. We can run different manipulations of it. So in this play, we're going to throw the bubble screen with the guy who's coming in motion. For us, the quarterback should have allowed this motion to get out here longer. He doesn't. He pulls it up and he runs the ball, which is not a bad option. So in this presentation, I was talking about it again, what we consider the hard deck, which is 7 yards. So for us, this is like a quarters coverage, 0. There's nobody above the hard deck. So this guy counts into the box. So even with this guy coming in motion, to us, it's still 3-on-3. If this guy was 2 steps back, he would be above the hard deck, which would give us the advantage. But so we spend a lot of time in teaching this, talking about what we consider the hard deck. The hard deck is that imaginary border at 7 yards, and it tells you where the holes are. That umpire, that back judge right there, he's able to tell you he lines up at 7 yards. So how do they defend you for any of your purposes? When you look at your passing game, not just for that, you want to consider that boundary. And how do you teach that to your quarterback quickly? Look at the back judge, he's at 7 yards. So we run the play here. Quarterback does not like the numbers he's getting, so he hands the ball off, and we're able to get a 12-yard gain. This is the first game of the season a few years ago. One thing that this quarterback did not do, and you got to hone your quarterbacks in on that, coaches, make sure they follow through with their footwork. See, his feet are dead, but we're able to get that 12-yard gain. All right, I'm going to show it to you again with our running back so you see how he's able to stay square, which is why he's able to do that jump cut to get back inside. So watch him. He's chasing the center's butt, but he stays square. Watch him, watching the running back. Slide step. He's able to do that jump cut because he's square. I think that's one big thing you have to work on. As I said, you got to coach up the running back on his footwork. If that foot to whatever side he's running zone turns, then he's not going to be able to wind that thing back in an effective manner. You've got to work on his first step, on that slide step, placing it back down and just opening up his body. If he does that step and he turns that toe, he's going in that direction, which is not going to be what you need for the play. All right, so as you see, the first time we ran it and we had that bubble by a slot receiver. One simple tag can make it different. So now we're going to send him in motion, and this outside guy is going to be our screen defender. As you can see from the hard deck, right now it's 2 over 2. If nobody moves, the quarterback should get ready to throw it out there. All right, this might have been an RPO. I think this was an RPO now looking at it because our wide didn't even block him. So yeah, this was the RPO off of it. He's running the stick concept, and we should be reading him. Yep, it is. He's going out on the RPO concept, which means that our quarterback is going to hand the ball off. And the running back did all the magic. We should have had a 3-yard gain. Our running back does all of the magic, but this ended up being an RPO and not just a regular split read. But good play to show you nonetheless. See here if I can get you to an end zone shot of it. Some of these will have inside shots. Yep, because there goes our hole right there. Look at that running back footwork again. This guy shuffles over, keeping his body square, so he's able to get that jump cut in that hole. And he got that small little crease, and he took care of the rest. So that was an RPO. So after you're done watching this one, or if you watch this one first, make sure you get into the game tested RPO section. I talk about that play and more in detail here. As I told you, I absolutely love the boundary. So same game, now we're going to run that zoom motion into the boundary where we're looking to throw this guy the screen. They don't bump over, so the quarterback should have thrown the bubble. As you can see, we got this guy blocked. He's about to be blocked. We should throw the bubble. He decides to run the zone read, handoff, and we get a big, explosive 60-yard run off of the play. Okay, let's show you the tight version of that. So to us, he should be throwing this. We got him blocked. He's going to block the corner. Quarterback doesn't do a good job of carrying out his fake. We'll talk more about their blocking. Center should have that guy. They make a fan call here because of the blitz. So the center should have this guy. Our tackle gets a good block, and then the running back takes care of the rest. We'll show you the end zone copy. I know this game, the end zone camera worked. I know, right? It didn't work every game, but this game it worked. All right, so he steps up off the motion, so we make a fan call. So this is like a push call for us. He has him. He's going to take him. Center should have him. He should block him. He should be healed in. They should be double teaming here for this guy. This guy ends up going out that way, so he kind of takes care of himself. But we should be throwing the one. We don't, but here we go here. Our tackle does a good job of taking over. And then come back and look at the running back's footwork. I think that's key. As you can see, his body is square. I think that's key to this play. Keeping the running back square and then pressing the center. So he's able to wind it back. As you can tell, he was definitely one of our 1,000-yard rushers. All right, we're going to send this guy in motion. And as you see different variations here, we're going to run that variation now where he's the bubble guy. All right, I think we should be throwing this. This is a sophomore quarterback who's in late in the game. Here, he runs his own play. They square, he runs into his lineman, and he gets positive yards. I would have preferred he had thrown the screen. Catch the screen, we got good numbers. He's blocked, he catches it, he can go up, cut up field. Good blocking though by the offensive line. Here we go from the tight version. And what the motion does is a lot of this. We send this guy in motion. If that guy won't move, then, hey, then you do other things. So does this guy move? They didn't move out the box, so that's why we should have thrown the screen. We're able to run the play and wall off and get a 13-yard gain. All right, so you talk about the many variations. As I told you, I'm trying to show you a lot of variations. This play is 25% of what we do, and we have so many tags and variations. Here is a tag I probably did not use enough. All right, so we're going to put him in the pistol. We're going to send this guy in motion. He's going to stay wide. He's not even involved in the play. If our quarterback was to pull this, he has a go, and then he has a quick out if he's to pull this. So we do this a lot. This was a great tag up for this team because they hadn't seen it. And so we've done this probably not enough. I said a lot, but not even close enough. I think we may run it twice a year. We might switch to this tag. I probably need to do more of that, but we haven't. So send them in motion. Quarterback reads. This guy's going up for it. This guy is squeezing. And he comes backside. Show it to you again. Send him in motion. We're able to get that crease. Running back makes a heck of a stiff arm, and then we get a big gain upfield. You can watch here, this guy should have the flat route. Let's see if he runs it. Oh, he didn't even run a flat route, which is what he had. Here we're stacking them to the boundary, and they cover both of them up, so our quarterback knows a run read. Here they took this guy and put him in a loose 5. So we got 6 guys in the box, 1 high safety. Running back kept his body square, and he's able to get a 14-yard gain. Talk about the close-up here. He's real wide, so he's going to be the read guy. You see one double team there. He's going for this guy. He should be helping him. Running back is square. He wants to go right up in there on the cut. Good double team. They're on 55 to wall them off. Here we go again, stacking the receivers. We ran the ball. Quarterback should have threw it on this one, I can already tell. Because we're going to stack it here to the boundary. This guy's in press point position, but there's nobody else over here. He should be throwing it. As you see, he blocks him, he throw it. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys to our 5. And even if we don't block one, it's still 5 on 6. And so luckily that end rushes upfield here, and our quarterback pulls it. And so we've got numbers because of the pull. But if you go back, I'm going to show you the play again. If you go back and look at it, the best way to deal with that is always pre and pro snap. By pre-snap alignment, by pre-snap alignment, he should be throwing that ball over there. Post-snap, he's not going to be able to throw a bubble because it's too tight to the boundary. But based on pre-snap, though, we have the advantage with the screen. And I tell my quarterback, football to me is simple. We've run inside zone, guys, and I will be honest with you, I have produced my 6 years here that I was here in Newton. I produced a ton of D1, D2 receivers. This quarterback is playing DB at Division II level. This running back is going JUCO. But 2 of these wide receivers, this one signed with Akron. This one is currently committed to Kentucky. This is his sophomore year. None of these linemen, okay, except for one is at a JUCO, the other is at a Division II school as well. So we weren't blessed with linemen. I really believe the reason why I like the spread version of the triple option is this. The hardest thing to do is to block people. Always take your numbers. And here we got our numbers for a bubble. Let's get this ball on the perimeter and put our guys in one-on-one position, especially if you got pretty decent one-on-one guys. I think that's our job as coaches. I know I'm kind of getting off the film and getting back into talking about coach, but I think that's important to understand if you run this spread offense when you do this. You want to teach your quarterback to understand that if we can get the game played outside the box, teams will have to then remove guys from the box. And especially if you're not blessed with the greatest offensive line. Now, my offensive line was solid. They were well coached up every year that we had at my 2 old line coaches that I've had over the last 6 years did a great job of teaching them. But football is still simple. Flexball teams run the rocket toss to do what? Get the balls on the perimeter. Teams run screens to do what? Get the ball on the perimeter. Do that, okay, in your spread if you run tags. Let's get the ball on the perimeter. So here we have the numbers. Luckily that guy comes upfield and our quarterback disconnects And my guys are able to make a block, so I'm not going to turn down a 16-yard gain, but different ways that we could have done it. And I know what he's thinking at first. He's thinking this guy is outside the box, but we had talked about his alignment, that he was not a strong safety. He's really a defensive end. And so here you see here in this defensive end alignment, here goes that other backer. Good 16-yard gain. All right, here we're going to run zone again. And this time we run it. I mean, the beautiful way, you talk about manipulations, he's going to run a bubble, and he's going to run a stop route. So we've got a double call on. So a quarterback can either pre-snap it, throw the bubble, which he didn't like by alignment, or he could pre-snap it and throw that single receiver out there. Or if he pulls it, he can throw it late. So there's so many things you can do with this play, which is one of the reasons why it makes up a lot of our offense. There's so many different tags that you can kind of be scatterbrained and haywire and go through every possible imagination with it. All the line hurt was zone, so they're going to block zone. The skill guys do different things. Here we hand the ball off and get an 18-yard gain. So this guy is more of a 4-eye than he is a 4. And he spikes inside, which is why a tackle takes him. And as you can see, he washes his behind all the way down. No, I do not see a holding right here. It wasn't called, so it was just a great block by the center. And we get that little crease, and we get the 18-yard gain. So when we talk about tags, this game we spent a lot of, as you saw the first time, of stacking the receivers, as we do here. And when they didn't cover it, we threw a bubble. When you get quarterbacks that get experience at it, one of our plays is to add the word lock. Well, lock, all that means is to stalk and go. That's one of the best ways. If you run this play over and over again, that's your shot play off of this. The easiest shot, the first shot you'll teach. And I think that's key. And this quarterback, he was a 2-year starter, and he was a student of the game. And we didn't call lock. We called the zone and throw the screen to the stack receiver. He made the adjustment to add the lock tag onto it here. So while the box is heavy, he had a feel for what's going on. And he had the lock tag, and we got an 18-yard completion for a touchdown. He had a feel for a game, even with this 52. I knew he had time, and they tried to recover and couldn't. And we got a touchdown. Inside zone with tags. All right. Though in my other presentation, I talk about game-tested RPOs. I'm going to show you a game-tested RPO here. One of the ones that we found later, I think that is very huge. I'm going to show you a couple of plays of this. So when you talk about inside zone, again, get into the RPOs, there are some great RPOs in that 10 personnel world. And as teams try to, the number one RPO everybody's running right is the stick concept. I still love it. That's the one I started with. We run, if you've heard my other presentation or you getting ready to watch, you can hear me talk about stick, draw, and zone stick, which is still one of my favorite RPOs. We run it out for all these motions. But as you get into that RPO world, there are RPOs that you can add even from 10 personnel that protect your quarterback. I'm going to show you one here. So for this one here, we're going to have double slants coming. He's the primary guy. All right, he's the inside slant. This guy's more of a delay pigtail in slant. Out here, we're running the screen to this guy. So if we come up post-snapping, there's nobody, pre-snapping, there's nobody out there, we throw it. We never threw that all year. Teams always covered it up because of the zone. Where we ran zone, they knew we threw so many screens, they covered it up, which was fine. Here, they've really got 3 over 2, which was even better. And here they got 4-2 guys. And so we're going to read this. Now we're going to lock onto this guy, which allows us to read him. And then him, we have one slant and then a late slant. What we tell this guy is you have a beater slant. So if a guy is off of you and you can get inside him, fantastic. If he's closer to you and you have to take your slant deeper, just make sure you beat him, and that comes with a lot of practice. So this is a great 10 personnel RPO. It works. You need to play around with the slant. I prefer to run this one because we run so many bubbles, or what we call key screens, those little screens into the boundary. On this one, I like the slant coming from the boundary and the bubble being to the field. And this is just a change up to keep teams off pace. And now it's a great change up. And now, it makes it hard for teams to really get a beat on always where that key screen is coming from. All the linemen got was zone, and then there's a tag that we have that locks on that end. So now we're able to look multiple. What did our offensive line know? Zone, and then one tag while I block the end. It's all about doing that. And so here we have the manipulation on it. From the pistol. What did that guy do? The guy that we're reading steps up. We have an inside beater slant. It was 2nd and 12, and now it's the first down. It was 2nd and 12. 2nd and 12. 2nd and 12 it was. I'm going to pause it. I love giving out tidbits. This wasn't not a part of the presentation, but I'll tell you, I'm an RPO guy. I love inside zone RPOs. To me, one of some best situations to use RPOs. This is for free. 2nd and long, 3rd and medium. Great RPO situations because you want to be able to run the ball, but what did some teams do on 2nd and long, they like to put pressure on you and a way to get free yards. So here we go, 2nd and 12. Our read guy steps up, and we have our beater slant, which we catch, and we get a nice 12-yard gain. All right, here we have it called again. We don't like, quarterback didn't like this one here. Wouldn't have been a bad throw, but he didn't like it, not mad at him. He's then gonna run the read. So who's our read guy? Remember, our read guy is and we'll talk more about this in our game tested RPOs. I'm gonna keep saying that so I make sure you watch it. Our read guy on our RPOs is the first linebacker in conflict, and it's this guy. So he's in conflict. Let's see what he does here. He slow plays it. Our quarterback hands the ball off on our zone, and we get a big gain. As you can see, it's not first down here. He shuffles, and one-on-one matchup. So our quarterback took the one-on-one matchup, and he hands the ball off, and we get 10 yards in the first down. You can see it up close what this linebacker does. As you can see in the zone, we got what? The double team. The double team did what? Pushed him where? To the linebacker. What do you see there? A crease. Then we're on to the next level, and we get a big game. You can watch it again. We love double teams, man. Stay on that double team as long as possible. I know a defense coach is watching this talking about cloud and clear. That is exactly what you teach your guys. My defensive coordinator does it too. But we don't play on Friday nights or Saturday afternoon, so the kids got to be responsible for that. And we stay on the double team as long as possible because a lot of times kids will overrun their gap responsibility. All right, so we got that first down. We went up tempo, brought that same play back. You just saw last time what this guy did. He didn't get over. We got 12 yards. What is he doing now? He's filling that hole faster. What's our quarterback doing? Running up to throw that slant because that guy stepped up. Putting our guy who just caught the ball in a one-on-one position with a free safety, which is all we can ask for. He missed a tackle. Touchdown pass. So Inside zone with tags, 25-yard touchdown play, same play. That guy pressed the motion, we slanted one-on-one, he missed the tackle, and then we're in the end zone. Show you the tight copy of it. There we go. So to show you what happened this time is this guy's gonna make sure he doesn't run off, and when did we come off that double team late? We didn't hand the ball off, but great throw, great yardage. So that's another play right there, guys. Inside zone with tags. You saw us run it 3 times there. All 3 times we got an explosive play off of it. Who doesn't want an explosive play? So if you're watching this, look at that play. All right, one of the other tags that I'm going to show you a quick RPO again. How many of us like running zone stick? Ooh, I do. One of my favorite, and probably my most used RPOs. Well, look at what teams do. Teams know you like running it. They put 3 over 1. So we're talking inside zone and tag. Guess what we're going to do? We're going to run it back to this single receiver side. He's going to have a slant. Who are we going to read? We're going to read this linebacker right here. Look at what he's doing. Step up. Late throw, incomplete pass. But I do want you to see the space. I mean, I'm running it so you can see it. Didn't work on this play, but does not mean it was a bad play call. Here we go. Quarterback reading that guy. He steps up. There goes the window. That DB makes a great play. Incomplete pass. Got to the red zone. Now we call it here even with the 3-by-1 because they loosen up. They bring that safety all the way up here. So here we go, zone stick. Reading that guy. Hits him. First down, get a 10-yard completion. Inside zone with tag. The tag on this one was zone stick. They want to stay 4-3. Read it, quarterback pulled. And we get yards after contact. One-on-one situation. Get your guys in one-on-one situations and away from D linemen and linebackers. Hey, what do you do with your zone when you get inside the red zone and 10 go man and close up? I haven't even showed you the motion from the backfield, but I love it. Usually we send the motion to the 3 receiver side. One thing that I learned by mistake, bad play call, it worked. We ran it again, it worked. What we start doing, we get man. Here you see 7 guys in the box. Now we're going to send that motion to this side. Who has them? Well, they should be switching, and he should have them. Guess what he's going to run? A slant. Let's see what happens. Yep, you see him coming out because he got him. And then we get a zone with a slant. He bumps out the box. We're going to read him. So now the quarterback has options. You can block him if you want to. Totally up to how you feel. That guy is a war daddy. He's at number 9. He's at Clemson. So we didn't want to block him. And there we go. Got the slant right behind it. And we caught it here and got positive yards. So that's key for us. And like I say, you can do what you feel necessary with that end. Some guys are going to want to block the end. Some guys are going to read the end and throw it late. The manipulations are up to you. I think the one thing that this offense in this series of play does is it allows your guys and you as a staff to make that decision. That guy was a war daddy. All right, as I told you, the luxury of having 11 personnel. We were blessed with a defensive lineman that was a war daddy. So we played him at tight end. We played him at tight end a lot here in this playoff game when I had a sophomore quarterback that was starting for the second time. We wanted to get that run backs good. So here we go here. We put him at tight end. What we tell him if we run zone away from him is 6 technique, he's going to arc block. 9 technique, he's going to block down. This guy is the bubble, okay? All right. Blocking down and got a great 14-yard gain. Actually, we had the tight end away, so I apologize. The tight end is on this side. There goes our tight end. There goes our tackle. And so there are different manipulations. Our best manipulation, I wanted to he run a hitch. So, all right, so here is a cheap, quick RPO that I love it. And I don't know if this was called or not, but I'm about to draw it up. I love this one. I don't know if what we did here, it's not what I have written down. It's labeled wrong, but we'll see. And that hitch, that's pre-snap. Quarterback comes to the line. If he's feeling edge pressure, if that guy's backed up, he sees it, bam, 1-on-1, throw the hitch out there. All right, that bubble is pre and post-snap. If it's not capped pre-snap, you can always rev, throw it, always. We want to do what I've been talking about this whole time is getting the ball in the perimeter. He can also do it post-snap. He runs the zone read, he pulls it, that guy steps up, he can flip it out there. So we can do both. So when people say, how do you train your quarterback? I mean, you have to know your quarterback. Some guys we got that could do both. Some guys couldn't. This was a sophomore making his second start. So I would be hoping that he wouldn't throw it out there. But if we've taught him that all year long and he can do it, then we're going to roll with it. You got to trust your kids. The adults don't play the game. Teach the kids what they can do and let them go for there. All right, let's see here. He does run a hitch, so that was the call. See, he has the hitch. This bubble's not open because he's coming, and we're going to run the zone read, and we get a 14-yard gain. They had both safeties out the box, so both safeties were out the box, so if they don't get that one-handed tackle, we're able to get more yards. Here we go. We should get double teams. Let's see. Yep. Double team and double team. He's going up to him. He gets him. Ooh, double team on the back, which is the crease. Great gator tackle by this guy, because if he does not make that tackle, we're in the end zone probably. 14-yard gain. All right, on this one, it is where we have the tight end here and have the two guys here. So once again, we're going to add two tags. I love this. Why I love it. This guy has the bubble. This guy has the smoke route. If he was off further, I'm sure the quarterback would throw the smoke route. We're able here because they're playing with a stand-up end to force the line to come this way. Bubble's not there by alignment. There goes the smoke route. Quarterback pulls it. He's able to get 15 yards. He's making his first start ever as a sophomore. He is not a very fast runner, so do not believe in this type of offense that you gotta have a quarterback this fast. This kid is probably about, in this game, he's probably about 5'9". He's 5'9", probably about 150 pounds. And he probably a fat kid. He's not fast. He makes a great read. And he gets 15 yards. So you can do this. All he has to do is, man, if a quarterback pulls this ball once every 2-3 times, teams will see it on film. And trust me, what happens is they got to start to respect it. He doesn't have to do this every time. He doesn't have to make a living from it if he's not that. If he does it once or twice a game, they will respect it. And it'll make this play go even more. All right, back to it. We talked about it again. When do we like RPOs? What did I say earlier? Free advice, third and medium, right? Guess what I'm running? The RPO here. I'm running zone. He's going to run a hitch. He's going to run a bubble. This was a great corner. Had he been off here at the hard deck, we would have thrown that hitch. He's not at the hard deck. Let's see what happens here. They're taking care of the bubble. He would have to throw it late post snap if he pulled it. Makes the handoff. 21-yard gain. You can see from the tight copy here. Should get double teams. Stand still. He's able to keep his body square, so he's able to cut right up in there. 21-yard gain. All right, here we go again with it. Tight ends on that side. So here we have the bubble right here. I actually like the quarterback throwing the bubble because of this guy's spacing. As I told you about that hard day, he's above the hard day. He's got to run up the field 5 yards. I would take that one-on-one. My quarterback didn't like it. It's never wrong running the ball. You are never wrong running the ball. Our running back's able to get an 18-yard gain on this play. And they basically have a loaded box. And we don't get any of the double teams we wanted to on this play. There goes the Reed guy stepping in there. Miss a tackle and our running back gets upfield. When people ask me what my offense is, I tell them I'm a no huddle. It's not mean fast, no huddle spread, triple option offense. Here we go here. We stack them. This guy has the bubble. They got 3 over 3. Obviously, we can't throw that. Let's run the zone read. Got a crease. And 62 yards later, we're in the end zone. All right, you can see our line blocking here. Linebacker misses the tackle. And then we're off to the races. All right. I prefer running it with that backfield motion. This is what happens when you mix the call up and you forget. We've run it, though, several times without it. And you can run it where you throw it late. And we did this here. You can see that running back forgot what he was supposed to do, right? But then we're able to throw the bubble, and we get all this grass. Get your guys in space, man. 7 guys in that box, man. Get your guys in space. This was our fastest kid in our team. He wasn't a natural running back. He played cornerback for us, but we were trying to find ways to get him the ball. He once stayed in track with a 45-38, so that kind of tells you in the 400. That tells you how fast he is, right? He messes it up. Quarterback throws the bubble late to our regular running back, our starting running back, and he's able to get yards. All right, now here we go, guys. Now man coverage, 0, straight 0. All these guys in the box. We're gonna zap motion. To me, on this, the quarterback should have threw the ball. Yo, nobody moves. The quarterback should be throwing this. It's 2 guys right there. He's getting ready to be blocked. The quarterback should be throwing this. There's no doubt about it. Of course, not only does he not throw it, we run for a touchdown, right? And the box was loaded. So, yeah, he should have been throwing it. Let's look at the run scheme here. Look at our guys run blocking. We got a double team. Our guard is really hooking him. He got beat. But we're able to get a crease, and our running back goes for 26 yards for a touchdown. As I told you, I love the boundary. Put trips to the boundary. See what teams do to it. So here goes a few tricks of the trade. If they don't put enough, then you're going to run the screen all night. All right? If they don't do enough. If they cover it up, send this guy in motion, let him run the bubble, and then run the zone this way. Trick of the trade, guys. Love it. As you can see here, we got numbers. Quarterback is going to throw it. There we go. I talked about having to get 5 yards. We get 12. And that's when that quarterback was a freshman. He's getting some varsity playing time there. Get the ball on the perimeter. Get free yards. Gotta have 5 yards on screen. We get 12 on this one. End zone copy tells you to look here. They sent 2 off the edge. You can't see it, but 12 yards later, first down. All right, here we go. We're going to run that zone. This time we do it to the field. Yeah, I know somebody saying, oh, my God. Yes, there's nobody over there. Oh, my God. They don't run the play right. The quarterback pulls it, and he gets a huge gain because they messed the play up because nobody was over there. It should have been a bubble screen or a key screen. I think the key one was called, which means this guy should have been getting the ball. But this is late in the game with our young guys in there. And, oh, yeah, our young guys are in the game, and they messed that one up. Quarterback pulls it, and he's got a ton of grass. Here was a little version of it early in the game. As you can see, they never played anybody over there the whole night. Yep, you're saying, oh, my God, said the same thing. This kid's first started getting the kid earlier, so he gets this ball out late. Look at that. Set up perfectly, right? And we got 13 yards, and you guys see the face mask. Stealing candy, man. Put trips into the boundary. Love it. What will teams do? How will they align? If they align properly, then cool. Bring them back in. Once they don't align properly, make them pay. All right, here we go. Same thing in the boundary. We kind of like our numbers. Run the zone read. He gets the crease. 23-yard gain. Everybody's on somebody. Look how square the running back is. That's why he's able to make that cut. 23 yards later, first down. All right, remember when I showed you how we do it to the trips to the field? He's going to run that smoke route. He's going to run that bubble. Quarterback said and you know what, I just ask my quarterbacks what they see. I don't really in the game or even on film tell them they made bad reads. We just kind of show it. If he sees the read, he'll say, Coach, I made a bad read. He said he didn't like the key 3, though. We had the numbers advantage because this guy was pressed. That's fine by me. I'm not going to argue with him. So he decides to run his own. Great decision, handoff. Running back was pretty good. Didn't teach him that. You can watch it from the end zone copy. Let's see if he stays square. Yep, stays square. Hey, got a double team. So he's at the back door. And he makes the cut, and he run past all their kids. Same call on here. Quarterback does not like the trips. Why? They got 4 guys over there. You see that 5-man box? There goes our smoke route. Let's see what the quarterback does. They run that X stunt. Great decision for them. Quarterback pulls the ball. And he gets 22 yards. Watch this beautiful X stunt by their defense. Oh, got us. Quarterback sees it, though. He pulls it, and he's able to get upfield for 22 yards. We talked about how to lock it, right? The lock is the go call off of it. Here we are. We've been running these key screens and bubble screens all night. And now, off the one, we throw the lock. Now, the quarterback threw to his best friend. Bad decision because this is the guy who's open. throws to his best friend, he gets it, and he gets into the end zone. High school kids are still kids, man, but the play was open. Wanted you to see it. That was his first ever touchdown in high school, so he's pretty excited, which, we all would be. I didn't say much to the quarterback. He was happy. We scored. We showed it to him on film. Had a touchdown. All right, here we go again with the three. Nope, three guys. Nobody back at zero coverage. The same team we showed you. Cannot throw the smoke route. What you got to do? Run the zone read. He stayed square. Got a 14-yard gain. Even when they got a loaded box, a lot can be said when the running back stays square. Get that wall, and he's able to get a nice gain. So remember how we talked about what happens if they cover up the trips, send that guy back in motion. Here's an example of that. Now, the quarterback should throw this. That guy didn't bump all the way out. I tell him all the time, I love it, coming back to the field. Make that guy bump all the way out the box. He stops. Watch this. You see it? Oh, he does throw it on this one. Great. Yep. They call us for a holding on this, so it has to come back. But as you can see, that guy stopped in the box. Shh. Man. That holding call brings back a huge gainer. All right, so I want to go through some applications of a game, and then I'm going to show you the zone slice. So how about you use this in the game, you asked me? I want to show you. So here's a game from last season where we use it. Here we got the key two called onto it, the bubble by this guy. Both of these guys are above the hard deck in their quarters coverage. My quarterback liked it, so he threw it. We get the block, and then we're able to get 10 yards on third down. So as you can see, I love it. He likes it off. We throw it. Good block by number one. So we get yards. Man, tell your receiver when you're coaching them up on the blocks. So many, the details of blocking I won't get into, but I tell my guys, what we tell our guys is this. My one non-negotiable with my wide receiver coach is, look, it don't have to be a kill shot. Block them till we get there and don't hold them, let them go, refit if you can. If we get even, we'll run past them. Because our running back, our wide receiver guy is already going full speed. All right, so here we go again. On this one, we come back, we run the RPO read off of it. Look at how they're checking the trips. We still come out at first and call zone sticks. We want to test out how fast is this guy fitting. And he fit real tight, real fast. We were able to get the pass. Probably shouldn't have thrown that bubble, right? Look at him. All right. Come back, stack them again. Nope, it's not the same play, same coverage. Now, the quarterback should not be throwing this ball. Oh, he should not be throwing this ball. He threw it, though. Great block. Stayed outside, and he got 10 yards. To me, there's no way he should be throwing that because of the alignment. Remember, I told you, that's the hard deck. He sets the hard deck. They got 3 over 3. He should not be running. He should be running this ball. He threw it. We got 10 yards. So also in the game, here we go from trips. Now from trips, here, close alignment, he liked it. This quarterback liked throwing the ball. So he does that. Really wasn't a zone read, heavy guy. He liked the numbers of the bubble. To me, it was a push kind of call. He threw it. Great block. Running back got outside. The wide receiver, the slot guy got outside, got 6 yards. So I'm showing you how we use the zone read in the game. And see, right now I'm just peppering these guys with zones and bubbles, zones and bubbles, zones and bubbles, zones and bubbles. We're getting positive yards. We're going to rip off a few, then we're going to be able to add some more tags to it. All right. Talked about sending that guy in motion a lot, right? They know it. See what they're doing to send them out? Still throw it. Still got 6 yards. Even when they know it's coming, they got to have the numbers out there. They know it. They've watched the film. They've scouted us up. This is one of the top programs in the nation that we're playing here. And we get a good 6 yards on the play. How can you tell me? Look in the background. Look, they got 2 practice fields. Man, 6-yard game. I'm sorry, yeah. 3. Everybody's like, they were the 3rd one. Pepper them though, man. All right, so we've been doing all this zone, bubble. They got those safeties coming up tight. How you get them? If the safeties are making plays, clap for them. First time safety makes a play, say, yes, thank you. We'll talk about that game-tested RPO. Make sure you watch that presentation. Game-tested RPO. First thing we hit him with was a game-tested RPO. Zone stick. He steps up. Can't throw the bubble. Look at that stick route right there. Bam. Get the ball to one of our players. All right, big time game. First tag we go to off our zone bubble. We set it up by running our zone bubble. We can come to it. All right. Cool. Very next play, man. Very next play, we ran it. I already called the play, trying to get tempo going, right? Trying to get tempo going. We're trying to score here. Come back to it again. Guess what? He still got it. Not a big play. They still overran it. He gets positive yards. I'm sorry, let me get back to it. Tight copy. So yeah, we're losing in this game. And we're just trying to get yards, get back into it. We keep to our system, man. You can't change up who you are. Got to trust the process, trust your offensive system, trust your tags. Now we're able to make tags off of these plays. And there you go. So you've been running it right. First half, you've been running it a lot. You hit them with the RPO. So now they've got to find a way, right? I'm slowing down. I'm pointing at that sucker. Do not let that sucker man run that slant back in there. Cool. He's not. Oop, pump fake. There goes the lock. Didn't need to call 4 verticals to get a vertical route to get a guy open. He's keying it, man. We didn't run that slant in there twice, right? Game planning. So 3 plays. Send them in motion, throw the bubble, throw the one. Once they start stopping that by that rotation, hey, come back and hit them with the zone stick. Once they get caught up on that, then we come back and get the home run ball. Here we go here. But I told you about getting in trips, right? Love getting in trips and throwing it. Love getting it in trips and throwing it. All of them are covered up. Bring the guy back in motion. Zone. That quarterback pulled it. He got 5 yards. Flow of the game. 5 yards. Who won't take a 5-yard run? We got to do what we do. Here we go, man. Shit. Yep. Pulled it. 5 yards. As you can see, he's a bigger guy. More of a thrower, not a runner. All right, now we get into my favorite way to run it, which is that from the backfield, from the two backfield. Throw it out there, they throw it, bam, we got the numbers, 8-yard gain. Love it. How do teams line up? How do they do it? This is the base play in my offense. If you ask me to tell you what it was, very first day, formation one, play one. All right, and got it out there, bam. Hey, we're gonna come back to it. We just ran it that way. Let's run it back to the field the other way. Very next play. Let's get to it. He getting out there. He's still too late. Great block by number one. He cuts it up. Positive play. Great block by number one. Slot receiver cuts it up, gets positive yards. Big gain for us, 12 yards. Hey, you're on the goal line. You think it's a good call on the goal line? Yep, man coverage. One of them's got to decide who has the man coverage. He's able to get into the end zone. So, hey, as you can see, we're just doing what we normally do. Hey, we're still running it. Man, you've seen us run it and throw it. Let's do it again. They get out there, now we hand the ball off, misses the tackle, one-on-one situations. 78 yards later, we're in the end zone. Create as many one-on-one situations for your guys. Make linebackers out the way, make DBs tackle. And roll up the safety to it. That was one of the answers. Bring that linebacker on the ball. He's bumping out the box. Hands off the zone read, he missed the tackle. So, hey, man, what you been doing? You been running it. You saw us throw it. You saw us run it. How about we come back and get them off the lock, you think? Right? They've seen a lot of it, right? Whoop. Fake it in the peak. Throw it deep. 77 yards later in the end zone. So I'm showing you game footage. Now, this is how we use it in the game, man. You saw how many positive yards we got here. This is how we use it in the game. So you want to show you this one again, because show you what we can do later on off of that. Talk about the tags. This time we handed it off, squirted for 6. We're working on it. I love wide crosses to play action. You've seen several teams won't run it. Even liking it more now where he fakes and he goes upfield. Yep, see his own read, and you see the zone and the wide cross guy. Quarterback had pressure, so he threw it late, but was still able to catch it, get 35 yards. Great play for us. Great play for us. All right. What I want to show you here is some slice. Got a couple of clips of slice that I want to show you. Take care of the end and hand the ball off. All right, so here we go. Got this bubble. I like the bubble. He should have threw it. He does. 10 yards. That guy was above the hard deck, man, above the border. I like it, baby. Look how far off he is. That guy's in no man's land. We can block 6 in the box when you're running that inside zone slice. All right, remember I told you can do it pre-snap, you can do it post-snap. Man, I love it. That's one of the reasons I keep saying I love it. That's why I love it so much. Quarterback didn't like it pre-snap. Should have handed the ball off. He didn't. He throws it post-snap. Got the block, and he's able to get into the end zone for a touchdown. I'm sorry, I'm going to go back to that. I want you to see that. So as you can see here, this guy steps up. Quarterback throws the post snap. Touchdown. He kicks him out. He's able to go front side. That's like one of our younger cats here. Because older cat would have cut it back. Young cat turned his toe, and so he has to keep coming this way. But he's able to get into the end zone off the play. So they have got 7 guys in the box. So this is before the RPO game got good. What we should be doing is throwing the post here and reading this guy. We weren't at that level yet. We were still very basic. He's covering the 2, and I'll show you why in a second. Hand the ball off, got the crease, got 12 yards. All right, here we go. From another team, got the slice. He presses up, and he's able to get square. I would have thrown the bubble again, but he handed it off, running back got square, and then that guy that showed a lack of one to tackle a running back, but that kid was 220 pounds, so that happened a lot of times. Hey, what happens if we just sit him in motion, short motion, just change to window dress it. That guy's real tight, hand the play off. 14-yard gain. Yeah, let me go back, I'm sorry. Window dress it, sit him in motion. 14-yard gain. Can put it in the boundary. That's happening kind of fast. Can put it in the boundary. There goes our defender. This goes our defender right here. We want that defender here on the screen, and we got it. 15-yard gain. Change the presentation. See what we see here from this end zone view. Quarterback pulls it and throws it to the slot receiver. See how far off they are? He just throws it out there. Here we go from the wide view so you can see it. He steps up, he just throws it out there. Big game for us. Guess what comes back? Got too many in the box here. He's creeping down. Still too deep. There goes the hard there, right there where he's standing at. He's 2 yards behind it. Throw it out there. He catches it one-on-one. Great blocking by the receiver. Can't see it. He put a move on him. Touchdown, though. So there you have it, man. My name is Terrance Banks. Once again, that was my presentation. Inside zone with tags. Number one thing we do in our offense. I think I showed you almost 1,000 different formations. Some tags off of it. Player action, how we call it in the game. That's what we do as a big part of our offense. We believe in keeping football simple, keeping it simple, especially for our offensive linemen, window dressing it. I think that's a large key in how we've been successful. Put our guys in one-on-one situations. And in one-on-one situations, it kind of comes back to the Jimmies and Joes. Find your few Jimmies and get them against their Joes and go from there. Once again, Terrance Banks, inside zone with tags. Thank you.